Trump keeps calling it a war, but Congress never declared it a war, and MAGA was promised no new wars. So the White House sent out a list of talking points to all the congressional Republicans, telling them in no uncertain terms that if a reporter asks, can you promise the American people this will not be a long, drawn-out war, the answer to give is, these are targeted major combat operations. So it's worse than a war. It's a war that got a thesaurus for Christmas.
Let us be very clear about what just happened here. Donald Trump promised his own voters loudly, repeatedly, on camera, no new wars. That was the deal. That was the whole pitch. Trump is the peace guy. Trump brings soldiers home. Trump does not get America into foreign conflicts. And then Trump started bombing Iran. And instead of owning it, instead of standing up and explaining himself to the American people, his team sent a memo to every Republican in Congress telling them exactly what words to use so nobody has to say the word war out loud. Targeted major combat operations.
Speaker Johnson tried a new tactic. It is a war, but it's not our war.
Iran has attacked 3 of our U.S. embassies in the last couple of days. Okay, those are sovereign territories of the U.S. They have declared war on us. We're not at war right now.
Folks, I totally buy it. Babe.
That is what they came up with. Americans are dying. Bombs are dropping around the clock. Iran is fighting back. But do not call it a war, because calling it a war means Trump broke his most important promise to the people who voted for him. Donald Trump did not just start a war. He started a war and then sent instructions on how to lie about it. If this is already making your blood boil, hit like and subscribe right now, because we are just getting started. This is the moment where the lying stops being embarrassing and starts being dangerous. 3 American embassies attacked, American soil hit, American personnel targeted, and the Speaker of the House of Representatives stood in front of cameras and said, with a straight face, we are not at war.
The administration is given for the targeted limited combat operation is Iran's nuclear program. But according to the UN's nuclear watchdog, Iran has no structured program to build a nuclear weapon, but the administration disputes that. One official told Politico, quote, they basically could have been days or weeks away from a weapon if they would have put the effort into it. Yeah!
Iran declared war on us, but we are not at war. Think about what that logic actually means. If Iran attacks American embassies, and that is not a war, what exactly would need to happen for it to become one? What is the line? What does America have to lose before its own government admits what is happening? Speaker Johnson is not confused. He is not misinformed. He knows exactly what a war looks like. He is choosing to lie because the truth destroys the story Trump has been selling since day one. And while Johnson is busy playing word games, real American soldiers are in a real combat zone right now. Read that quote one more time. They could have been days or weeks away from a weapon if they would have put the effort into it.
White House press briefing today, Caroline Leavitt was asked why the president acted so quickly in launching the attack, and here's what she said.
This decision to launch this operation was based on a cumulative effect of various direct threats that Iran posed to the United States of America, and the president's feeling based on fact
that is the justification for a war. Not that Iran had a weapon. Not that Iran was building a weapon. Not even that Iran was close to building a weapon. But that Iran could have maybe, possibly started building one if they had tried harder. Donald Trump launched military strikes on a sovereign nation based on what a lazy version of that nation might have done in a hypothetical future. The United Nations nuclear watchdog, the actual organization whose entire job is to monitor nuclear programs around the world, said Iran had no structured program to build a bomb. But Trump's team went to Politico and said, yeah, but what if they got off the couch? That is not intelligence. That is not evidence. That is not a justification for war. That is a guess dressed up in a suit and sent to a press briefing. A feeling based on a fact. Those are the words the White House press secretary used to explain why Donald Trump started a war.
McDonald's launched their new signature burger sandwich, say it with me, the Big Arch. which is, why didn't you say it with me? Which has, everyone's talking about it, which has gotten some attention thanks to an awkward promo video from the company's CEO. Check it out.
Chris K here with, you've heard about it, here it is, the big arch.
Okay.
Not intelligence, not evidence, not a classified briefing or a credible threat assessment. A feeling based on a fact. Now, nobody in that press room asked the obvious follow-up question, which is, what fact? What specific fact gave Trump this feeling? Because if you have a fact, you say the fact. You do not say you have a feeling about the fact. You say, here is the fact. The reason Caroline Leavitt said feeling based on a fact is because there was no single clear fact. There was a vibe. There was an instinct. There was a political moment where starting a war felt useful. And so Donald Trump, with the most powerful military on earth under his command, acted on a feeling. People are dead because of a feeling. A country of 93 million people is being bombed because of a feeling. And the White House press secretary is standing at a podium calling that a fact. And here is where it all comes together. On the same day that Donald Trump is bombing Iran without congressional approval, without a clear justification, without even agreeing on what to call it, the CEO of McDonald's is on camera, terrified of his own burger. And that is the news. That is what is competing for your attention right now. A war with no name. A justification built on a feeling, bombs dropping 24 hours a day, and a skinny man in a cashmere sweater who cannot figure out how to bite a sandwich. This is not a coincidence. This is how distraction works at the highest level. Keep people talking about the big arch. Keep people arguing about burger sauce. Keep people watching a CEO take the smallest bite in human history. Because as long as you are watching that, you are not asking why Donald Trump started a war on a feeling and sent a memo to Congress telling them what words to use so nobody notices. Colbert made it funny, but the joke is on all of us. If this video woke you up, share it with someone who needs to see it. Hit like so more people find it. And subscribe and turn on the bell because this channel is not going anywhere.